Ooh, welcome everybody to WagerTalk Today. I am Lawrence Presman. That guy right over there, he's Teddy freaking Covers. And you're watching the best all sports daily betting show on the planet. Screwed that up again, Teddy. How are you, bro? What's going on? Who's on the show? What are they going to be discussing? Give me the goods.
Jimmy Adams is going to lead us off today. He's going to talk a pair in MLB, including an early start game. Going to break down the Padres and the Twins, as well as the Giants and the Diamondbacks. Brandon Siefkin, Tokyo Brandon, joins us next. He, too, focusing on MLB today. We'll talk Rangers and A's and Rays and Yankees. Don Buster is going to join us as our final guest today. He's going to talk some Rays, Yankees as well as some NHL action, New Jersey and Carolina. I've got a bettable opinion in the presidential address. Should we get 100 likes today? And I think we will. And of course, the BS segment. We're asking, do we lay minus 110 to win 100? Do we lay 100 to win $90.91? We'll talk about that as well before this show is through. So loaded Thursday edition. Let's get into it.
Awesome stuff, Teddy. Just to let everybody know, big play alert from the Prez. Talking in third person. I have a 5% up tonight. And guys, I did lose my last 5% play. But other than that, I've just been rolling. 5-1 run, 9-3 run, 61.5% over the last 3 years. So please take advantage of that. It is Throwback Thursday. That means every package on the website only half price. My 5% would normally be $35. It is $17.50. Head over to WagerTalk, get that play in ASAP. Jimmy Adams, how are you, my friend? What's going on?
Doing good. What's up, Prez, Teddy? Throwback Thursday, man. How could you not be excited, right? Gonna try and get you 2 free play winners here, a 4% best bet for half off. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Well, maybe you should just take the show over. We'll kick back, listen to you, man. Jimmy Adams joining us, everyone. We're going to go straight into the 1:10 p.m. Eastern game. San Diego, Yu Darvish on the mound against Minnesota. Bailey Ober, minus 135 for the away team. What do you like?
So I'm going to be looking towards the under in this game. Odds makers opened this number at 8.5 yesterday evening, quickly got bet down. And you can understand why, right? I mean, these teams just went into extra innings yesterday. Now they have an early start game. And it's especially tough for San Diego, who was just on the West Coast, flies out to, last series they played the Dodgers. And after this game, it's a getaway game, so they have to fly out after this game and go right back to Southern California to take on LA again. So not exactly the best spot if you believe in that sort of thing. The Twins haven't played a game that's gone over 8 runs their last 5. San Diego hasn't in their past 6. And along with that, we have 2 starters that have been very effective so far this season. Bailey Ober, a sub-1 ERA, and has allowed just 2 runs in 3 total starts so far this season. His hard hit percentage is low. He's keeping teams from getting very many barrels, and his chase rate is strong. Yu Darvish off a dominant performance against those Dodgers, just 1 earned run. Whiff percentage looks good, a strong OBA against, and a solid spin rate on his fastball. So everything points towards the under in this one for me in the day action game.
So we saw Josh Hader blow a save last night, the second consecutive blown save for the Padres with Hader. We saw both bullpens get taxed yesterday. We've certainly seen San Diego have plenty of chances against that Minnesota pen. They couldn't put the big hit together yesterday, much to my chagrin. But nonetheless, Minnesota's pen is vulnerable. San Diego's pen looks vulnerable. Is this a first 5 type of play? Or is this you comfortable with the full game under here?
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with the first 5 play. I like the full game. It gives us just a little bit of breathing room. You obviously have more innings to go along with that. But 2 bullpens that may be taxed, but and have had, we saw Hader blow the save, but bullpens that are definitely not at the bottom of the league. I think I have confidence, especially in Minnesota's pin, to get the job done. And San Diego hasn't taken advantage of any opportunities. The Twins have one of the worst offenses in the league and haven't exactly played the toughest schedule year to date. So at 8 runs, yeah, I mean, I like the under, but if you wanted to go first 5, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever.
Jimmy Adams joining us, everyone. Jimmy, before we get into your next pick, which is on the Giants and D-backs game, I have a quick couple of announcements to make. Guys who love First Pitch, and that is a kick-ass show. Drew Martin hosts it. It's on 2 p.m. Eastern every day on our channel, WagerTalk TV. With all the games going early today, not all of them, but many, First Pitch has already been taped. It will not be live today. It is up right now on our channel, WagerTalk TV, so you can check that out. Also, guys, we might have time for another question in the betting strategy segment, so feel free to plop something in. Oh, Nick Leak just wrote, know what Teddy... Yeah, so if you got some questions, just pop them into the chat room. We'll try to get to another one of those. Jimmy, we got the Diamondbacks 20-17 on the season, 11-9 at home. They're throwing out Tommy Henry, left-handed pitcher, plus 125. They're playing Alex Cobb and the Giants, 16-20 record. I'm on this game myself. I got a client bet on this game, so I'm curious where you're going.
So this is going to be a first 5 wager for me. The Giants make the short trip down to Phoenix, and I expect we'll get a strong effort out of them off a home series loss to the Nationals. First 5 is the play because I don't trust San Francisco's bullpen, talking about bullpens a little bit earlier. But I do trust Alex Cobb to minimize runs early against the D-backs. Cobb off a gem of an outing, not allowing a single run in 7 innings versus the Brewers. 2 starts prior, he had a complete game shutout against St. Louis. And then I always have to go and check the analytics to make sure these things add up. And in Cobb's case, they do. A 2.92 FIP, an elite ground ball rate of 63.1%, doing a good job keeping hitters on the ground. And he's only walking 3.6% of the batters he faces, which is amazing. So no free passes, no free chances for AZ tonight. Looking at Tommy Henry, the first thing that jumps off the page to me is that he has the same amount of walks as strikeouts. So a lot of contact coming from this guy. His velocity's low. His whiff percentage ranks among the worst in the league, and he has a poor spin rate. With such an edge in starting pitching, the Giants, they'll be up in this game after 5. As far as the full game, I'm not sure. San Fran doesn't do the best job hitting lefties, which is why this did not make the client card. But on a limited action Thursday, limited slate Thursday, I think a first 5 Giants play might be worth a half unit or so.
So Cobb does not exactly have a great track record against Arizona. 2-2, 6.10 ERA in 6 starts against them, and 8.36 ERA in 3 outings at Chase Field. San Fran just got their butts kicked at home by Washington. Is this a team that we're real comfortable with laying a price with, even first 5? Or does Cobb struggles against this lineup and in this venue, and the Giants struggles in general right now, not concern you for today's meeting?
So yeah, I did see those numbers against Cobb. No starts against him this year, obviously. He's been very solid. So all coming in previous years. Still something you want to take into account, because you could throw it back over the other way and say Tommy Henry's had 1 start against the Giants and he allowed either 4 or 5 runs. Off the top of my head, it was one of those. So, the Giants, I would think they'd be motivated off that home loss to the Nationals. They sure need to be. They need to get up over 500 or try and claw their way back here. If there is a pitcher in this Giants starting rotation that you want to trust, it's probably Alex Cobb. And as poor as the Giants are against lefties, they can probably scrape together 2 or 3 runs against Henry. And yeah, I'm confident in backing Cobb for the first 5.
There we go. Jimmy Adams, everyone. Guys, Jimmy is 63% win rate since April 14th. And Man, that's close to a month of action, give or take a day. 63% over the last 30 days. That's really good stuff, Jimmy. 80 units of profit in his last 245 baseball games. You're seeing it well, brother. Way to go. What do you got for the clients today? Etc., etc.
Yeah, thanks for the shout out, Prez. Great being on with both of you. Thanks, Teddy. Look, 4% best bet going down tonight. The 3% game was on the Twins under. So hopefully 2 winners there. And like Prez was saying, it's just been a great baseball season again so far. Went on a good run in April. I'd like to go on another monster run in May, but we'll keep steady. We'll keep building those profits on a consistent basis. I'll just say that. So good luck to everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jimmy Adams. You can find him at WagerTalk.com. Remember, everyone, it is Throwback Thursday, half price for every single package at WagerTalk Today. Make sure to take advantage of that. Teddy, as I said, I have a 5% play up tonight. What do you got going for the clients?
I have a 4% best bet available in NBA action this evening. The NBA has been very good for a very long time.
Yes.
Nearly 60% over the last 15 months in NBA action. You can get that play right now. Throwback Thursday, half price, only $12.50 at WagerTalk or sportsmemo.com. I am passing on today's short MLB card.
Teddy, listen, your NBA has been ridiculous, and it's been like this for years. This is not an aberration. This is one of, if not your best sport. Do you spend more time on the NBA than other sports? How many hours in a day would you, on average, handicap the NBA?
All of them? I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you if I spend more time on the NBA than other sports. I spend a lot of time on the NBA, but there's not a sport that I do that I don't spend a lot of time with, Lawrence. So, that's the nature of what we do. When we're not actively on the screen reading and researching, we're likely watching games. So it's a consuming process.
So
sports betting.
So the amateur bettor, how many hours, minutes in a day do you think they put into finding, say, 3 bets?
So the problem with asking me questions about what the casual bettor does or what the amateur bettor does is I'm so far removed from that now, I can't tell you. Right. I know that there are guys that spend all day who are amateur bettors, but that's their interest, and that's what they do. They're spending all day at work. All right, I got a little bit of work to do. All right, now let's handicap some games. Listen to some podcasts. Listen to this show. But I don't know. What's your answer to that question?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going for sure under an hour. I would say the average amateur bettor or recreational bettor is a better way to put it. I would say if I put a line at 31 minutes, I would take the under.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I'm fairly far removed from that level of handicapping after being out here for 25 years. I don't know.
What did we learn what did we learn last night in the wonderful world of sports betting?
Something worth noting. All right. In general, all right, I think that home court means less at this stage of the postseason in the NBA. The healthier team, the hungrier team, the better team, the team that's figured out how to exploit their opponent's weaknesses, they have the edge. The home court is not as big of a factor. And we look at the first round. Atlanta won Game 5 in Boston, then Boston won Game 6 in Atlanta. The Clippers covered the Suns in Game 5 after losing Games 3 and 4 at home. Minnesota, they were down 3-0 in the series. They still covered Game 5 at Denver. The Knicks won Game 5 at Cleveland. The Warriors won Game 5 at the Kings, and the Kings won Game 6 at the Warriors. Miami won Game 5 at Milwaukee. Note, road team, home court pretty meaningless. The only home team to cover Game 5 in round 1 was the Grizzlies. They were down 3-1 with the Lakers. The Sixers swept. There was no Game 5 there. So in the vast majority of series, you've already seen at least one team win a road game already by Game 5, the exception Denver, Phoenix. And again, my experience has shown the home court doesn't mean a whole lot at this time of year. And then what happens? Game 5, the 76ers win Game 5 in Boston, first of the 4 games. So you're like, yeah, home court doesn't matter that much. But then Nuggets win by double digits over the Suns. Last night, Knicks by doubles over the Heat. Warriors by doubles over the Lakers. The home court was worth something in Game 5 over the last 2 days. That's something to file away and remember for next time. Prez?
Teddy, why do you think that is? Because it's definitely like that right now in the NHL. I gotta believe it's because as we get closer to the end, the better teams are playing, and the better teams have good road records. Do you have a theory for this?
For why the home court matters less as series progress, or for
Yeah.
why in the NBA we saw the home court mean something in Game 5 of Round 2 where it hadn't in
No,
previous
less.
years
Why
and
it's not
series.
as important as it used to be, because in hockey, you get that last change, and last change is a big deal. You can match up your lines. And yet we are seeing, and we saw it last night again with Toronto going into Florida and winning. We are seeing a ton of road teams win, and on a regular basis. There has to be a reason.
Sure, this is the reason. The teams that are alive at this stage of the postseason are good enough to win games on the road in hostile environments.
Yeah,
Period. And the knee-jerk reaction from the betting markets is always, oh, they're returning home, boom. 5 points the other way, 6 points the other way. Oh, they're returning home, boom. And you see that adjustment literally in every game, in every playoff series. That's the adjustment the markets make, 5 or 6 points between the two home courts. I don't think it's worth that much, and it's worth less as the series progresses. However, that was not the case over the last 2 nights. The home court was worth something. We'll see if that, again, that's something to file away. It's not, immediately actionable information. Something to file away and remember for next time.
Teddy covers. Russell Deck writes, no Leafs talk, Prez. Please, I'm out of Tums and Malanta. So the next segment, we're going to bring in a friend of mine. We're talking only Leafs. It wasn't planned that way, Russell. It's just we want to do a full Leaf segment. Tokyo Brandon joining us. Tokyo. So,
what's up, guys?
Leafs last night win. They're at home on Friday night. Tickets are about $500 each for the shit seats. My dad is 79 years old and tells me it's his bucket list to go see a Leaf playoff game. Are you going to be paying for my dad and I to go to the Leaf game or not?
Probably not, but I can stand behind you at the backgammon table while you make that $500 to go to the Leafs game, the corporate Leafs.
Right, playing backgammon is how I will make that $500.
Or no, wait.
Welcome to the show, man.
It was roulette, not backgammon. Sorry, my mistake.
It was craps, dude. I don't play roulette. I don't play roulette. I know how to play backgammon, but I don't play that for money. Although I had a great uncle who was a world champ. Go ahead.
I gotta jump in because when he said backgammon, I'm like, Prez plays backgammon. I'm like, this is something where I'm rubbing my hands together. I'm like, yeah, let's go. I never played backgammon with you. I'll play backgammon with you for money all day long, baby.
Games.
Oh, really?
One of those dice games. I don't know.
All day long.
Dan, is there a way we could set up Teddy and I play like best of 5, $100 a game, and we can just live stream it?
Oh my God.
Yeah, Teddy, done. You want to play backgammon with me for money? Done.
I would pay money, and I'll be at the meet and greet from Tokyo too. So.
And nobody asked.
I look forward to that, Lawrence.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna play with the doubling die.
Obviously.
Okay,
this is
Teddy,
great.
I am so in, bro. So freaking in.
I started something.
Brandon.
Yes, sir.
The Rangers, the A's. That's the game that you would like to talk about. I'm okay with that. We've got Nathan Eovaldi on the mound, minus 240 for Texas. 8.5 is the total. As of now, I do not see a pitcher for Oakland. I don't actually know if that matters. How are we handicapping this game?
It's going to be Zach Neal. And Zach Neal, actually, not terrible numbers, but he doesn't have a lot of experience in Major League Baseball. The experience he does have is okay. But Eovaldi is one of those guys I generally don't like to back ever since he was with the Red Sox. But if you look at his career numbers against the A's, the sample size is fairly small. It's only 29 at bats, but he's held these batters in his career to an OPS against of 345, which is just extremely putrid and awful. I'm going to back Eovaldi here today, but the 245 on the money line is a bit steep. So we have the advantage of the Rangers being on the road. As you know, baseball bettors with any experience, they know that you don't lay the 1.5 on home teams in general is the golden rule, but the Rangers get 9 innings of at-bats on the road. And another important thing to note here is if you go down all the categories of comparing these two teams, the Rangers destroy the A's in every single category: batting average, runs, hits, home runs, on-base percentage, slugging percentage. There's not one category the A's are better than the Rangers at. Not only that, but the A's are a pathetic 3-15 at home, while the Rangers are a pretty good road team. They're 10-8 on the road. So I'm very comfortable laying the 1.5 here with the Rangers and Nathan Eovaldi. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those 15-3, 15-8 kind of games. So yeah, I'm laying the run line with the Rangers here.
So I made a mistake yesterday, Tokyo Brandon.
Yes, sir.
In the presidential address, Lawrence, I'm giving out one play in Lawrence's address, and I said the lowest hanging fruit is the Red Sox over the total. But it wasn't the lowest hanging fruit because the markets have adjusted, and that line was 10 as opposed to the 9 and 9.5.
Yeah.
Like the markets have finally caught up with Boston's run of overs. And no, yesterday's game didn't go over. With the Red Sox, but that wasn't why it wasn't that run that made the difference. But the fact was that the markets have caught up with Boston going over now. The 8.5, 9s are now 10s for the Red Sox.
Yep.
Have the markets caught up with the Oakland A's? You know, Texas is minus 240 on the road. Is Oakland a team that we can still make money with betting against every day? Or is the 2 wins a week that they're going to get for the rest of the season going to be enough to overcome the 5 losses they're going to get every week in order to make them profitable to back?
Right. So it's interesting about the books because they can only take the numbers so far. You're never going to see a 6.5 total in Major League Baseball anymore. They just can't do it, even if they want to. So if you had the 2 best pitchers on the mound with the 2 best bullpens behind them with 2 lineups that can't hit for crap, you still won't see a 6.5. So 7.5 is the lowest they're going to go. I think with the A's, a minus 250 is pretty much as far as the book is going to go on a price. You're probably not going to see a minus 300 or a minus 350. So my answer is yes, there's still value to be had because the books are only limited to how far they can stretch the number. Here's a number that's interesting. The A's team ERA, 7.43 for the entire team. Bullpen FIP, 6.09. These are just atrocious numbers, Teddy. They're just awful. And their hitting is actually pretty good. They rank in the upper half of MLB teams as far as WOBA. But it's just their pitching is just so bad. And the bookmakers can't stretch the numbers any further than minus 250. I mean, they're not going to put out a minus 400 for a Major League Baseball game. They just can't do it. And also, what's interesting is international tournaments, like in the World Baseball Classic, we were seeing lines of like minus 3.5, minus 6.5 for some games. They're never going to do that for Major League Baseball. No matter how bad the A's are, it's always going to be minus 1.5. So yes, there is value still to be had with the A's.
Tokyo Brandon, everyone. Brother, we're going to talk Yankees and Rays in 1 second.
Let's do it.
What do you have going on for the clients today? And I'm sure you've been winning up a storm lately.
Thanks for your words of confidence, Prez. You're always very nice to me. Yeah, actually,
that's not true.
Well, online you're not very nice to me, but in person you're a sweetheart. So,
Okay.
I'm number 2 in Major League Baseball profit last 3 days, and since May 1st, I'm plus 41% profit for my Major League Baseball plays. I
Nice.
do have two plays out for Major League Baseball today, but I'm giving them out on the show, so don't buy them on my website at WagerTalk.com. However, I will be putting out Asian baseball plays later on after the show. The numbers just came out, and there are a few matchups that I do like. So that's what I have out today will be my Asian baseball plays. So get those for half price, or just get a one-day pass. That's also half price. Makes a lot of sense. Wager Talk's half Thursday off day.
Tokyo Brandon, everyone. Tokyo,
Let's talk
every
Yankees
38
Rays.
games. Every
Yes.
38. I know, dude.
Just
Every
giving you a little-
38 games. Tokyo, enough. Every 38 games, the Rays win 29. That's not going to happen. This has to be a sell team. They have finally come down to earth slightly, lost 2 games in a row, both to Baltimore. Their bats are not clicking of late. In their last 3 games, they've put up 3, 2, and 1. Now they're playing the Yankees. Their bats are alive, 10, 7, and 7 in their last 3. How do we bet this game?
Yeah, the Yankees just got Judge back as well. So, but if you look at these two lineups, they're both pretty good actually. In the last 10 days, I like to look at the last 10 days, and they're almost exactly equal in the last 10 days, these two lineups. The bullpens also are very good and pretty close to equal. I like to look at starting pitchers, how they perform against the other team. Rasmussen performs really well against the Yankees in his career. He's held them to an OPS of 470, whereas Domingo Germán has held the Rays to below 800 OPS. So that's respectable. Rasmussen's performed a little better. Neither pitcher gives home runs to the other side. I looked at the total here, and 8.5 seems way too high to me. So I am actually betting the under, and I put this out as a client play. So don't buy my plays for Major League Baseball on WagerTalk.com because I'm giving them to you here. Buy my Asian plays. But I'm on the under 8.5 here because I like both starting pitchers, and I really like both bullpens, how they're performing lately. And I just don't think there's going to be a lot of runs here. The Yankees and the Rays, everyone gets tense when it's a rivalry game, and I think this is more of a rivalry now than the Red Sox Yankees. These are two teams that want to beat each other. So that to me that looks under. And when I crunched my numbers, came to 8.1. So I think under 8.5 is the play here.
There you go, Tokyo Brandon, everyone. Jimmy Burke 13 writes Tokyo Brandon top 5 handicapper on Wager Talk. Incorrect, Jimmy. Top 5 handicapper in the world. Thank you, Tokyo.
Yes.
Now get out of here and go listen to your Kiss music. Teddy Covers, we woke up today and Daniel's son, speaking, off topic, has there ever been a movie that has affected a person's name more than The Karate Kid? Like the word son comes after Daniel, no matter which Daniel you meet. Anyway, Daniel's son writes...
Only for people that were coming of age when that movie first came out and stuck in their brains forever, like you. So yes. Amongst your age cohort.
Yes, the old
son
man
comes out naturally.
Right. Anyway, Daniel's son tells us that we have an opening for the BS segment. So you haven't seen it and I haven't seen it. So let's kick back and watch it all together. In the dark, smoky streets of New York City, 1976, a Chevrolet Renault driving down. What the hell music was that? What am I in Shaft?
Cool.
Oh my
Yes.
God, dude. That's like a 1970 New York City porno. That's what that music was. Oh
Perfect
my
for BS
lordy.
report. Love it. Thank you, guys.
Lordy. Okay, Teddy, we got 2 questions we're going to go through in the BS segment with Teddy and the Prez. Both of them are real straightforward, man. The first question, and I cannot remember who put this in. Nobody put up a question in the comment section yesterday of the YouTube video, so I had to go back into my brain. Somebody asked a question yesterday, and it went like this. Do you bet 110? Let's say it's a minus 110. Do you bet 110 to win 100, or do you bet 100 to win round up 91? Teddy, you go.
So the answer is this. I bet 110 to win 100. It doesn't matter if you're doing it online. It really doesn't. But if you're at a sports book, you don't ever want the change. You always want to bet 110 to win 100, 88 to win 80, 22 to win 20. The last thing you want to do is hold up the line behind you and make the guy count out change for you. I consider that embarrassing at the sportsbook counter. So when you're in the book, you don't want change back, 110 to win 100. When you're at home, and I know what Lawrence is going to say, percentage of bankroll. It doesn't matter if you're betting, to the penny or to the dollar or whatever it is. But I've always done to the dollar. I've always done 110 to win 100. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
Lawrence?
Well, firstly, I always round to the dollar as well, Teddy. But my answer is really simple. It makes no difference so long as you do the same thing all the time. That's what matters. I mean, you bet minus 120 to win 100, or you bet 100 to win, 80, whatever, that 84. That's how, just be consistent. But I have a question for you. Go ahead.
Well, let me jump in, because in moneyline sports, it's different. And I know bettors oftentimes, not all, but many bettors risk less when it comes to money lines, whether it's favorites or dogs. If they're betting on a dog, they're betting to win 100. If they're betting on the favorite, they're going to risk 100. So your risk sizes don't go up with your juice with the favorites that you're laying. So there's one, with money lines, it can be different. With point spreads, you want to do it the same way every time. I agree wholeheartedly. Except for if you're doing it with change and then you go to the betting window, the counter. In the counter, you don't make them count out change for you. We've
established that here. So on a dog though, Teddy, plus 135. Are you betting? So if you're betting a favorite at minus 135, you're risking 135 to win 100. If you're betting a dog, no,
you're risking 100 to win less.
Okay,
and we're risking the 100 to win less, and with the dog, I'm also risking less to win the 100.
Right. Gary Burnett writes, and this is a great question. Prez, should good handicapping take into consideration the competence of a coach? Now, I don't want to discuss whether the coach is competent or not, because that's not really relevant to the question. Incompetency is just as easy to bet on as competency or bet against. The answer is yes, from my perspective. And I actually used an example about Marty Schottenheimer a few weeks ago when I spoke to you about how after a loss, coming home after a loss over a 20-something year coaching period, Marty was around 82% against the spread in that spot. There are coaches that make great adjustments, especially if they're playing the same team twice in a row, like you'll see with John Cooper on Tampa Bay, et cetera, et cetera. My answer is yes, I take the coach into account in my handicap. Teddy?
So yes and no is my answer. Okay? I mean, it really is, because I can't think of a scenario in which everything's even, but I like this coach and I don't like that coach, and that's the only reason I'm making the bet. All right? It's not enough that I like this coach and I don't like that coach, everything else being even to get there. So it's never a pure coaching decision. This is my advice to someone that wants to make bets based on coaching. All right? Whenever you have a bet, and this is something that early on in my career, 20 years ago, a handicapper who I very much respect, who I'm going to leave nameless here, but went through this exact argument with me. When I'm like, this coach, that coach, he's like, before the game tips off, or before the first pitch, or before, whatever, the kickoff, tip off, whatever it is, write down, track your coach, which coach you would be betting on. And do that for 20 plays. Do that. Find a 20-game sample size where it's just coaches. The coach, he's like, you're not going to find an edge. And I did it, and I didn't find an edge. When I was playing just the coaches, this is the coaching mismatch.
Right.
It's a 50-50 proposition.
Right.
It really is. So, yeah, it's something you think about. Yeah, it's a factor. Is it actually going to get you the betting window? No, not me.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Yeah. I think that's a great answer. I mean, when I said yes, I take it into account, but for very few coaches. But it should be in an in-game betting scenario. You know, coaches like Belichick coming into halftime losing. I mean, there are just some coaches that are better making adjustments than others. Awesome segment, Teddy. Let's bring Don Buster in, a friend of mine, a fellow Canadian. How are you, my friend? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Prez. Appreciate it. Good for you last night. I see your Leafs won, so I'm actually quite glad I'm on the show today with them winning, because I have a feeling if they would have lost last night, it might have been a little bit of a different show. So, congrats.
Let me ask you.
On that.
Let me ask you about that, Don. What does it feel like to know that the Montreal Canadiens are golfing? So help me understand where I will be. They've been at it for a couple of weeks now. How does it feel?
It actually feels great. I didn't expect anything of them, unlike everybody in Toronto already, as Carmine would say,
Teddy,
buying tickets for the parade.
Teddy, so you don't know this, but Don Busters lives close to Toronto. Cheers for the province. Cheers for the province that wants to separate from Canada. And he cheers for the most ironically named team in history of sports, the Montreal Canadiens. Don, welcome to WagerTalk today, dude. Congratulations on coming back on WagerTalk. It's really great to have you. You're an outstanding handicapper, a really good guy. What do you do? Tell the listeners you have never been on WagerTalk today. What are the sports that they're going to hear and get from you before we get into your two games for today?
Okay. Well, Prez, I actually was on probably about maybe 3 or 4 years ago before the pandemic.
Okay, well, I'm old, man.
I know. Was talking some CFL. That's one of the sports I do quite well, actually. CFL. Of course, NHL is one of our better sports. We MLB again. I do basically most of the sports. I'm not into soccer at all. I don't do UFC, but all the major sports: college football, college basketball, a little NBA. The playoffs, I'll play NBA way more. Regular season, not so much. I just win everybody with rest management there, whatever you want to call it. So. But yeah, looking for, appreciate being back too. That's been, and it's funny, Prez, and you might not believe this because we are old. It's been almost 7 years this week that I joined WagerTalk.
Wow.
7 years. I told Mrs. Buster, I was like, geez, that time, I can't believe it. I mean, it just goes by. So yeah, it's something else.
Teddy?
And of course, we talk about the difference between Sports Memo and WagerTalk. Sports Memo, more of a marketplace. We have non-exclusive handicappers there, and we're going to allow them to price and rate as they do with their personal sites. It's our way of allowing customers to purchase non-WagerTalk handicappers they're interested in, but staying within our system. WagerTalk is guys that are basically exclusive, our in-house handicappers, and they follow our pricing and structures. So, Don, welcome back to WagerTalk. Glad to have you here, and obviously,
Thank you, Teddy. Appreciate that.
We have the special. For all the new cappers. What's that promo code, Lawrence?
Welcome 2023. That's welcome 2023. You get 50% off any daily, weekly, monthly or yearly package from any one of the 5 gentlemen you see on the screen: Ronald Kabang, Jeff Michaels, Don Buster, Nick Borman, and Pavlos, the bearded man, who will be on tomorrow with us. Don, I gotta hold your segment off for 1 second because Dan Liketer asks, Teddy, would you ever let Prez babysit your son? And
Yeah.
the answer,
Yeah,
Tell him,
not even
Teddy.
without a doubt. I would trust Lawrence with my child implicitly. Wouldn't even think about it.
guys, I don't know what the hell you think of me. My God. Anyway, Carolina close out tonight against the New Jersey Devils. And look, the New Jersey Devils, it's not like they're scared to play on the road. They lost their first 2 against the Rangers, went into New York, won their next 2. They looked great 2 nights ago, 8 goals. But other than that, Don, this is a team against Carolina that scored 1 goal in each of the 3 out of 4 games they've played. I'd love to hear your opinion on this game.
Well, Lawrence, I really like Carolina to close this series out tonight. We actually had Carolina last game at plus 130, and we gave out to our clients Carolina for the series. Was kind of shocked with Carolina having the home ice advantage. They were even money to win the series. I think it was just way too much overreaction to New Jersey beating the Rangers. That's for sure. Because I mean, Carolina, they've been the last few years have been one of the teams I've been touting to win the cup. Never mind, to have a home ice advantage against a very young and really talented New Jersey team. So I thought that price was not like, I was shocked at the price. We actually played Carolina small here tonight because we do have that series bet in the bank. Carolina have been basically money at home in the playoffs. They're 11-2 the last 13 games over the last 2 years in the playoffs. Really good at home. New Jersey, they've lost 6 of the last 7 in Carolina, including those 5-1 and 6-1 beatdowns in game 1 and in game 2. And it's funny, you guys were talking earlier about coaching. Well, one sport that it matters is the NHL, and especially in the NHL playoffs. Me and you have had lots of discussions. Well, maybe not lots, Lawrence, but we've had discussions back in our days on Puck Time about Sheldon Keefe and what should be happening there with Toronto. Well, I think Carolina has a huge advantage. I love Brendan Moore as a head coach. He might be the best. He's definitely top 5 in the NHL of coaching. And I've never been a fan of Lindy Ruff. That's for sure. Although he's done a good job this year, but maybe it's just that they have so much talent.
Yeah.
That's the thing. As far as the goaltending, it's going to be interesting for New Jersey. Now, I haven't checked in the last couple hours, so I'm going to assume, I don't know if anybody has been listed as to play tonight, but I'm going to assume Schmid might get it, but I don't know. Vanacek has been terrible. Schmid, he's going to go, and he was shell-shocked by a 5-1 and 6-1 games in Carolina. So New Jersey's already down in the coaching, down in the goaltending. If you ask me, Anderson's had that one bad game in game 3. The game got away from Carolina. There's a lot of bad penalties, and it just sometimes the game gets away from them. You saw that last night happen to Vegas. The game got away from them. And then you're in the playoffs, you're usually done when that happens. As for anybody that wants to bet this total here, all 4 games have gone over the total. But, something tells me that I hear that it might have even went up to 6 some places now. So
Yeah.
truthfully, I really want no part of this total, guys. I just really want no part of this total at all. Really realize that Brendan Maher has read these guys the riot act saying, we do not want to be going back to New Jersey for game 6. And I don't think they do. I think Carolina closes them out tonight, guys.
Buster says, look at the Carolina Hurricanes take care of business at home against the New Jersey Devils. Don, let's talk a little MLB for today. Yankees and Rays, basically a pick'em price game. Toronto's minus 110. Total sitting at 8.5, juice to the under. What do we do? Rays and suddenly surging New York Yankees.
Well, Teddy, these guys just played last week, and Tampa won 2 out of 3 games. And these 2 starters actually played each other last week. And the Yankees actually end up winning their only game that time. It was 3-2. But we are going to go with Tampa Bay for the first 5 here. Rasmussen pitched very well that game. 5 2/3 innings. New York had no runs. Domingo, well, he allowed 2 runs over 5 innings that game. And of course, the bullpen for Tampa Bay didn't get the job done, and they lost that game. Now, I think this is a pretty good spot for Tampa Bay. They've lost their last 2 games. I think it's just a good bounce back spot, especially with Rasmussen starting. Now, Drew actually pitched last September in Yankee Stadium and also held him to over 6 innings to no runs. So now you're looking at Mr. Rasmussen has held him in 11 2/3 innings to no runs. Now, I fully understand one game means nothing to the next, but that does give Drew a ton of confidence coming into the grounds of Yankee Stadium, in my opinion. Now, the Yankees have won 3 straight. They beat Oakland. So, that might even be just an outlier. They weren't really playing all that well. Yes, Judge is back now. But actually, Herman his last start was probably his best against Tampa Bay over the last couple of years. Tampa Bay actually, he really struggled against Tampa Bay last year. So, Again, I think it's just a good spot for Tampa Bay, who have struggled at the plate the last 2 or 3 games. I think somebody was mentioning that earlier. But I really like Tampa Bay in the first half here. I think Rasmussen holds them down, and they put a couple runs in there. I do not trust bullpens in the MLB this year at all. I've already lost 4 games playing full games and having teams come back from 3 or 4 runs, so I'm playing a lot more first half games. Give me Tampa Bay for the first half or first 5.
There you go, Dumb Buster. Outstanding performance. Listen, brother, we will have you on semi-regularly. Congratulations on coming on Wager Talk. We love having you. Outstanding work, guys. Remember, use the promo code WELCOME 2023, half price off of any of Don Buster's packages, daily, weekly, all access package, all the way up to a full year subscription. Don, what do you got going for the clients tonight?
Well, as you guys have mentioned, we have that Welcome 2023. You get 50% off any package, like any yearly package, everything we have, 3-day, 7-day, all access. I'm going to just mention one of them here. Anybody that bets CFL football since 7 years with the WagerTalk family, we are up 158 units, and we are hitting 59% in those plays, which, 59%, like when I went back and saw that, I was like, that's pretty good. If you could do that in every sports, you know how rich we would all be. That's for sure. So if anything, if you're a CFL fan, if you bought our CFL package in the past, grab it now. It's going to be the cheapest price you're ever going to get. You'll get it for $175 for the year. That's crazy. So my CFL guys or anybody that's going to bet CFL this year, I suggest go use that Welcome 2023 for that package.
Yeah, and Don, I could be wrong here, but I think the CFL actually finally has a television contract in America. I think you guys will be able to see some games there this year.
Well, they did have ESPN at one time.
Yeah, but
last year it's ESPN. Now they're on the CBS Sports Network this year, so it'll be interesting.
Awesome stuff, Don Buster, everyone. Get out of here, bro.
Prez. Thank you, Teddy. Take care. Have a good luck tonight.
Thank you, my brother. Teddy covers. We are short 5 likes, but we have talked no NBA. So we'll do a daily presidential address. I'm only going to give out 1 pick. I did organize 3, but we're short 100. But I'm going to do it regardless because you're going to come in and give an NBA play out?
Sure.
Okay, Dan, cue it up. All right, it's time for your daily presidential address. It is Thursday. We will have Teddy coming into this segment with an NBA play for you guys. Before I started this, we only had 99 likes. My rule is 100 likes, and you get a daily presidential address. I was only going to give out one pick instead of the 3 I organized, but I will give out 2. So before we get into that, I have to make mention I have a 5% play up tonight. Those plays are the best plays I have consistently over the last 3 years. I did lose my last one, but before that, I had won 5 in a row in NHL. My NHL 5% plays this season, 67%. Please make sure to bet it. It's Throwback Thursday. Every package at WagerTalk is half price. As for your 2 plays tonight, I like the under 9.5 in the San Francisco game, and I like the New York Yankees to beat Tampa Bay. Jermaine on the mound, minus 105. Teddy, what do you got for us in the NBA?
I like Denver plus the points in Phoenix tonight. I'm not taking them on the money line. I'm not asking them to win. I expect a competitive game. I expect a one-possession game in the final minute there. Give me the Nuggets plus.
They're yours. There you go, everyone. Teddy, my brother, it's shawarma today. I'm going to get it right now, so take us home.
Sure. Enjoy your shawarma, Prez, and thank you for taking time out of your busy day to spend with us here on WagerTalk Today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time, same channel, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. You can always watch the replay on YouTube if you miss it live. Between now and tomorrow's show, enjoy the games and best of luck with all your wagers.
If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right. At both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets, normally priced at $39, for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring offer.